So without further ado, let's dive right into the game of the week. And it was a very big weekend at the Abbotsford Entertainment and Sports Centre for not only the Heat, but for Canucks fans as well, with the Utica Comets in town. And this week, we go to Friday night's game, the 7th meeting of the season between the Heat and Comets. And coming into the contest, the Comets had the Heat's number, having won the last 4 head-to-head meetings. It was a good old-fashioned goaltenders duel, and let's dive right into the highlights.
There he is, the mayor of Abbotsford, Bruce Vanman. Knight settles it back for Trupp. Trupp lost the handle, and Welsh can't clear. Good hold by Derek Smith. Smith walks in with a shot, save, rebound, Trupp, rebound, another one, stopped by Eriksson. And this time Welsh fires it down the ice. Great pressure from the Heat, and both teams change with 50 seconds to go. And here's a 2-on-2 chance for McDermott and Kremer. Here's McDermott with a shot, save, rebound, Kremer! Oh, and he's stopped by Eriksson. Big rebound, and Kremer nearly had his first AHL goal. He's on the forecheck. Gives a big body check on Sauvé. Oh, Jordan Kremer has proved to be a physical presence ever since being called up from Alaska. And now an icing call against the Comets. But still 0-0 as we take a look at the hit. Sauvé saw him coming, but still couldn't stay on his skates. Trying to turn away from Grenier, and he does. Locked behind the net in front, Granlund! Glove save, Eriksson! Oh, an unbelievable stop by the Utica goaltender. Lock set up Granlund, looked like a sure goal. But Eriksson, a right-handed catcher, a great glove stop. That's got to be one of his best of the season as we take a look at the replay. Locke nearly had his first assist in a Heat uniform, and Granlund just flat out robbed by Eriksson. Cross for O'Reilly, he's dangerous. O'Reilly back to Tomarnis to the point. 15 seconds ago, wrist shot right on. Ordio makes a save, can't find it, and it's underneath him, and he gets the whistle. Oh, the Comets crash the net. Schrader, Ferrio, Jensen looking for the rebound, but Ordio didn't know he had it the whole time. Great opportunity there for the Comets. 10 seconds to go in Billings' penalty. Face off in the Abbotsford zone. As you see Jensen looking for the loose puck, but Ordio had it underneath his left leg. Good sequence there for Yanni Ordio. He'll start a breakout. Breen, long pass to center, hits Reinhardt on a breakaway. Reinhardt shot, stopped by Eriksson. Reinhardt scored on a breakaway with that same move he tried in Grand Rapids Saturday. Blocker side, but it's actually the glove of Eriksson instead of the blocker, which it would be normally for a left-handed catcher. So Eriksson remains red hot, made that look easy. And puck comes to the corner, Ramage against Sauvé. Knocks it up ahead for Knight, now to Trupp. One-on-one against Corrado. Here's Trupp, passing to Banks. Banks in, shoots, stopped by Eriksson, and he's got it. What a chance. Trupp sets up Banks, but they just can't score. Eriksson didn't even know he had it underneath his pad. Nice setup by Trupp, who came out of the box, as the Comets are now 0 for 5. Archibald to Corrado. Now in the middle for Grenier. Here's Archibald with room, left wing, slap shot, save, rebound, cleared. Berchi for Banks, point feed, quick shot, blocked by Anderson, and he feeds it out to center ice. Into the Heat zone it goes. Ordio's way out of his net, and he got tripped. Lost his goal stick, and the Heat able to clear. Here come the Comets, 4 from the center. Biega gets the pass, in it goes for Ferrio. Down the right wing, Ferrio shot, save, rebound. And it comes to the line. Anderson shoots it down low for Ferrio. He's got room. Ferrio shot, save, and he scores. Comets win. Ferrio, the overtime hero. Eriksson gets the shutout, and for the second time this year, the Comets beat the Heat in overtime at the AESC.
You saw it for yourself, just a fantastic goaltending performance from Joachim Eriksson, who stole the show, and eventually, in the end, Ben Ferrio, the overtime hero, from a sharp angle, and actually a night later, was the overtime hero again as the Comets knocked off the Heat in back-to-back games in OT. Time now for a quick commercial break. When we return, it's our player profile, and this week it'll be Captain Dean Arsini. You're watching the Heat This Week on Shaw.TV.
Like our champions, we know what it takes to win. Every day we put on our uniforms and we strive to be the best. Ring after ring, we keep practicing until it becomes second nature. Our craftsmen have put in thousands of hours to master their trade. And when things get tough, we make the adjustments needed to stay on top. Barron Championship rings. This is who we are.
Welcome back to the show. Let's get into our first player profile, and the subject for this week is local boy and Heat captain Dean Arsini. This week's player profile is with Heat captain Dean Arsini. And Dean, what age did you get into hockey, and can you remember why you wanted to play?
Well, I think like every Canadian boy, you kind of grow up watching Hockey Night in Canada and just fell in love with the game. I think I started skating at 3 years old. My dad played hockey, my mom was a figure skater, and got into actual organized playing when I was 5.
Who did you idolize growing up playing, and why?
I think my favorite players were Cam Neely, just because he's from the area, and as well as Scott Stevens. I just like the way he played.
Greatest memory growing up playing hockey?
Ooh. I don't know, that's a tough one. I think, I had made a lot of good friendships. I played in Aldergrove minor hockey growing up, the majority of my minor hockey career. Then my last year at Bantam, I played in Abbotsford and made a lot of lifelong friends there. So I don't know if there's one thing that particularly stood out, but just the friendships and the bonds that I created from those.
Were you always a defenseman?
Yeah, I was. Corbin Knight's looking at me, I'm thinking I'm playing forward. I did back in the day, Nighter. I scored some pretty sweet goals when I was like 8. But no, basically once I got to Adam and you did rep tryouts and everything, I played defense. So my dad played defense, and I always wanted to be like him, so that's why I played defense.
You had a taste of NHL hockey playing in 13 games for the Edmonton Oilers back in 2009-2010. What was that whole experience like for you?
Oh, it was incredible. It was a lifelong dream come true. Got that chance a little later in my career than a lot of guys. I did that when I was 29, so to be able to get there eventually and finally, I went through a lot of injuries and a lot of slugging it out in the minors, and to get a chance by Edmonton, I really appreciate it, and something I'll never forget.
Was that your biggest career highlight to date, or is there something else that takes the cake?
Well, I think there's a couple things. Definitely playing in the NHL was huge. Like I said, it was a lifelong dream. And then on the American League level, winning a couple Calder Cups was pretty special. Anytime you can win a championship, you're connected to life with those guys, and a lot of great friends, and you basically consider them like family. So when you can go all the way and win a cup and get a ring, it's a pretty special experience.
How did playing here in Abbotsford all come about for you?
You know what? Ever since the team came here, I wanted to play here, and for whatever reason, it just didn't work out the previous years. And realistically, I'm getting towards the end of my career, and I just said to my agent this summer, the only place I want to play is Abbotsford. So let's do everything we can to try to get here. And fortunately, I got the invite to come to Abbotsford's camp just a couple days before. I got a call from Craig Conroy, and he invited me, and I jumped all over it. So a lot of luck. Fortunate to be able to get a chance, and even happier that I'm able to stay here.
This was a player profile with
Dean Arsini.
There you go, Heat captain Dean Arsini, a true grizzled veteran. You see the beard on this young Abbotsford Heat squad. Let's take a look at the standings in the West Division. The Heat picked up 2 out of a possible 4 points over the Comets, giving them 56 points on the year and a record of 26-14-3-1, which is good enough for second place in the West Division, and still nipping at the heels of first place Texas Stars. As for transactions, the Heat have been busy these past few days. On Sunday, defenseman Shane O'Brien cleared waivers and was assigned from the Flames to the Heat, and in a related move, the Flames brought up defenseman Chris Breen. For O'Brien, a former Canuck, appeared in 45 games for the Flames this season, recording 3 assists in 58 penalty minutes. And for Breen, He's been up and down in the organization all season long as he suited up in 20 games for the Heat, picking up 3 assists. And with 5 games in a Flames uniform this year, he has 5 penalty minutes. The Heat were not done there. They dipped into their ECHL affiliate, the Alaska Aces, and brought back up defenseman Drew McKenzie, along with goaltender Olivier Waugh, and assigned Cloverdale native Jordan Kremer back down to Alaska, along with Zach McKelvey. McKenzie started the season with the Heat, played in 16 games and recorded 1 goal and 4 assists. For Olivier Waugh, this is his first recall to the Heat since he was traded from the Edmonton Oilers to the Calgary Flames in early November, and he's been having a fantastic season with the Aces. 13 wins, 7 losses, a .922 save percentage, and a 2.10 goals against average. Finally, for Jordan Kremer, in his first taste of AHL hockey, he played in 6 games with the Heat, didn't record any points, but he was a physical presence on a consistent basis and provided some of the biggest hits we have seen all season. So best of luck to Jordan with the Aces, and who knows, hopefully sometime soon, maybe back up with the Abbotsford Heat. Time for another break. On the other side, we talk to Carter Banks in a fun feature called Rapid Fire. Stay tuned. You're watching the Heat this week on SportzCast.TV.
Like our champions, we know what it takes to win. Every day we put on our uniforms and we strive to be the best. Ring after ring, we keep practicing until it becomes second nature. Our craftsmen have put in thousands of hours to master their trade. And when things get tough, we make the adjustments needed to stay on top. Baron Championship rings. This is who we are.
Welcome back to the Heat this week. Assistant captain Carter Banks is in his 4th season with the Abbotsford Heat and is one of the more outgoing players on the roster, and he is our featured player this week in Rapid Fire.
Hey Heat fans, this is Carter Banks, and let's do some rapid fire.
What was the most fun thing you did this past offseason?
Probably went down to Palm Springs on a vacation with some family and friends and had a really nice time.
Favorite hockey team growing up?
Calgary Flames and Anaheim Mighty Ducks, big Paul Kariya fan.
Who's the funniest guy on the Heat?
Ben Hanowski's pretty undercover funny. You wouldn't believe it, but he's pretty quick.
Greatest movie of all time?
Oh, that's a tough one. I'd have to go with maybe, I like Rudy. Rudy's a pretty inspirational movie, always enjoyed it.
Besides the nickname Banksy, what other names have you been called in your career?
I used to be called Bones when I was younger, really skinny. It's always basically been Banksy. Everyone kind of sees me. I actually had one person that called me Kartsy before, which I didn't think was the neatest nickname, but mainly Banksy and Bones.
What was your welcome to the AHL moment?
Trying to think of that. I mean, my first game, I was pretty nervous. I think I iced the puck 3 times on my first shift, which didn't go that well, but I have a welcome to the WHL moment that I remember vividly. I got hit pretty hard, and I got up, and the whole net and everything was shaking, and I actually got hit by a guy that is an Abbotsford native, Mike Funk, and he hammered me on the sideboards, and I met him last year, and I was like, holy, this is the guy that welcomed me to the Western League, so that was kind of cool.
Favorite sport other than hockey?
Probably golf. Golf, skiing, tennis. I liked all those growing up, but play a lot of golf still.
What's the team's plans for the Super Bowl?
I'm not sure exactly what we're going to do, but I'm sure we're all going to get together and watch it somewhere and have a couple laughs. And we got a little pool going right now. We did kind of random draws for who gets what teams, and fortunate enough, I got Denver, so I'm excited.
What would you be doing if you weren't a professional hockey player?
That's a tough one. Probably PE teacher.
And finally, have you ever played as yourself in NHL 14?
I'd be lying if I said I haven't. I think I did the first year it came out. I was still with the Lethbridge Hurricanes, but recently, no, I haven't. I'm not very good in the game, so it would be pretty useless to use myself.
This has been Rapid Fire with
Carter Banks.
Carter's coach, Troy G. Ward, is in his 3rd year as bench boss of the Abbotsford Heat. Earlier this year, he picked up his 100th win as head coach of the Abbotsford Heat and is the all-time winningest coach in the franchise's history. On top of all that, he is one of the most insightful interviews around and is one of the best sound bites in the American Hockey League. here's my weekly chat with Coach Ward, who helps recap last week's games against Utica and helps tee up this week's games against Hamilton. It's another edition of our weekly chat with Heat head coach Troy G. Ward, and we are in the video room in the Heat locker room. And Troy, just want to recap last weekend here right off the top of the show. 2 close games between yourself and the Utica Comets, but in the end, they pick up back-to-back overtime wins. Friday, you were shut out 1-0. Saturday, a bit more offensive success, but still lost 4-3 in OT. Just curious, in your mind, what do you take away from the weekend?
Well, first and foremost, in terms of results, it wasn't what we wanted, so it wasn't where we want to be in the day-to-day combat of this league, because we strive to finish every day 1-0 in everything we do, whether we're traveling or whether we're playing games. But in terms of a lot of things that I thought got done on the weekend through the process of building our team and where we're going, I thought there was a lot of good things that happened. Obviously, we had to filter in Smith again into our lineup, and that takes a little chemistry out of our lineup. Then we had Corey Locke come in via trade, and Mark Kandari is gone, so there's a change in the dynamic of the personality of the team. Obviously, Mark Kandari is a big part of our team here for the last year and, a little over a year and a quarter. So, that changed the dynamic, I thought, of our weekend. So I thought there were a lot of good things that happened. They just didn't transpire into wins. I thought we still moved the puck pretty well at times. I thought their goaltender has been really good against us. What can you say? We had some good looks at him. We had the right guys with the good looks at the net at times, and we just didn't score. So a little bit of a tough push for us offensively, but that's part of the process. And
it's funny how the hockey gods work sometimes. And I go back to Saturday. They were in your favor when Granlund snaps his stick on that shorthanded rush, ends up to Reinhardt, who pokes it in. But then their cruelty in overtime. Chris Breen loads up a one-timer, stick snaps in half, and there goes Ben Ferriero to win the game.
Yeah, it's well said, the hockey gods. And even if you think about their first goal, we hit the puck off the back of our net and it goes up in the air and ironically goes over our goalie and they hit it out of midair. So there were some little freakish goals in the weekend. As you mentioned, Chris Breen breaking a stick and they counted. They were actually in a line change. We were actually an odd man rush, and unfortunately, we've seen that in pro hockey. I think earlier in the weekend it happened to Ramich. He went for a one-timer and his stick broke. So that's part of the way it works. We understand that. But still give them credit. Let's be good pros about it. They did a nice job. They battled with us hard, and I thought we battled equally as hard. We just didn't get the bounces.
And finally, Troy, help us tee up this weekend's games here at home against the Hamilton Bulldogs. The road teams won every single game so far through 4 games, and they came in here in early January and handed you back-to-back losses. Just overall, what can fans expect this weekend between you guys and the Bulldogs?
Well, I think nothing less than the last time we played them. I believe we lost 2-1, 3-1. They were tight games. We weren't exactly sharp. They're similar to Utica, in the fact that I think Hamilton probably skates better in some ways, but both of them have lights-out goaltending. That's been the Achilles' heels against both of these teams. We've gotten some good looks. We've probably held the margin, let's just say 3 out of 4 or 4 out of 5 games in scoring chances against both Utica and Hamilton. But I like Hamilton's team. They skate well. They've got some size. They've got some good veterans. But what they have had and what they've been able to do against us, they've gotten really good goaltending. So we're going to have to find our way to the net again and just stay with that process. And if it's a tough go of it, we have to put ourselves in a position where we manage the puck and we don't beat ourselves, where we're patient with it. And hopefully, like we talked about with some of the vets, that'll just rub off and our team will have good patience. But we need to have good pace to our game. But I like Hamilton's team, and I like how we match up against them in terms of it should be a good skating series.
Appreciate the time, Troy. Thanks for this.
You're welcome.
Time for our last commercial break of the show. When we return, we're going to finish off the program with a special roommates feature as we go inside the home of 3 Heat rookies. You're not going to want to miss this. Stay tuned. You're watching the Heat this week on SportzCast.TV.
Like our champions, we know what it takes to win. Every day we put on our uniforms and we strive to be the best. Ring after ring, we keep practicing until it becomes second nature. Our craftsmen have put in thousands of hours to master their trade. And when things get tough, we make the adjustments needed to stay on top. Baron Championship rings. This is who we are.
Josh Juris, Corbin Knight, Ben Hanowski to my left. These are 3 Heat rookies that live in the same house during the season. And you can imagine there's probably never a dull moment in this house. And Corbin, I'll start with you. Just tell the fans how this whole living arrangement came about.
We all kind of met each other at development camp in Calgary in the summer, and kind of got along right off the bat. And then training camp rolled around, and we all started hanging out again and kind of going out for dinners every night. So it just kind of worked out that all three of us, when we got sent down, were looking for a place, and we figured it'd be good chemistry to all live together.
Josh, what's it like living with these two?
It's been awesome so far. Can't complain. We got three personalities that mesh well together, and three college kids, so it's got a bit of a college atmosphere in the house, so it's been great.
Yeah, Josh, you spent 3 years at Union College, Corbin 4 years at the University of North Dakota, and Ben 4 years at St. Cloud State. So 3 guys all coming from the NCAA ranks. I guess you have the advantage, say, over a guy coming out of major junior to the pro level, because at college you're living on your own, you're fending for yourself and all that stuff, compared to a major junior player who billets with a family, gets stuff cooked for them, and they clean up after them, all that stuff.
Yeah, I think all three of us have good experience being on our own and living with other guys on teams. So it's been good so far, and we've been having fun with it.
And Corbin, just what goes on a daily, nightly basis in this house?
After we get home from practice, we usually make lunch kind of together, and then I don't know, a lot of different activities kind of take place during the afternoon. If it's a nice day out, we'll go outside and either throw a football around or kick the soccer ball, just try to stay active a little bit. And then some video games get played, a lot of watching TV, and then I don't know, we just kind of hang out a lot of the time too. We don't really do a whole lot that's crazy or anything like that. We just kind of hang out and enjoy each other's company.
Josh, I understand you and Corbin have quite the dynasty mode going in NHL 14.
Yeah, we had a big playoff push. Unfortunately, we weren't able to make the playoffs, but we battled hard. We battled hard right to the end. Corbin got called up early and solidified his spot. So he did real well. We had one game where went the distance, went to overtime, and we ended up winning. I think Nider scored that goal, and it was a pretty intense celebration going on. So it's been fun. But now we're on to the next year, so hopefully gonna make another push.
I understand your self-made appearance because you guys play as the Calgary Flames, right? You made an appearance in the lineup, but ended up sending yourself back down to the Heat because you're pretty hard on yourself.
Yeah, definitely. I called him up early. I think I got too excited, and he had a tough stretch up there, so I had to pull him down early. Never made it back up. So hopefully this is the year for him.
Corbin, what's the cooking situation like? Is there a go-to chef, or do you guys kind of switch it up from time to time?
No, I'd say we're all pretty good with that stuff. I think, like I said earlier, it's fun to be in the kitchen with these guys. So when supper rolls around, we all kind of get our own little jobs and try to make it together. So I think there's a couple dishes that are kind of become the favorites of the household, but overall, I think it's a lot of fun, and I think we all enjoy kind of cooking together.
What's your specialty to make, Ben?
Well, I don't know if it's our specialties or just the only thing we know how to make. We bake a lot of chicken, we make stir fry, so I don't think it's a specialty. I think we just don't have a lot of meals in our repertoire yet, so we go back to the same one over and over again.
This isn't MTV Cribs, but a staple on that show is checking out the fridge. You mind if we take a look?
Yeah, go ahead. There's not much in there right now, but go ahead.
All right, let's head to the fridge. All right, so what do we got here? Pretty empty. You got the bare essentials, you got some juice, some lettuce.
Pretty much whatever Ben has, I have. I kind of feed off his grocery trips, so.
We got to get back we got to get grocery shopping, but top shelf is, juices, and there's some pasta sauce up there, and then this is mine. Yeah, whatever, same thing. That's my level, and that's Corbin's, and then that's Jabone's down there, Josh. Pretty empty right now, though.
So what's the grocery situation like? Does one guy go out and get anything, or do all three of you go to the store and kind of buy your own thing?
Well, that's what we go. We kind of do our individual thing, but I always end up checking out these guys' carts to see what the good stuff is. Mostly Corbin's, actually. He's the healthy kid.
Corbin, what's it like on game day? I guess is there a certain guy that cooks a pregame meal? Because I know the hockey players can be quite superstitious on what they put in their body before a game.
Yeah, I wouldn't say any of us are really superstitious at all. We all kind of have the routine. Me and Ben usually cook either chicken and rice or chicken and pasta together. But Jabone's has a dish that has become his pregame ritual, so I'll probably let you tell him about it, Josh.
Yeah, well, I just got the what's it called? The recipe off Corbin. Yeah, it's just some ground beef, actually lean ground beef. Some Prego. I throw in a little Alfredo sauce and yeah, cook the noodles up and you have yourself a great pasta dish. So that's been go-to ever since he taught me it.
With regards to the nicknames, obviously we got Niter from his last name and Hanno from Hanowski. How do you get the name Jabone?
I got a bunch of nicknames, but that one started at school. So yeah, I'm not really sure how that came about, but it's Jabone, Bone, Juice. Coach Vittori gave me that one, so yeah, I got a bunch. They call me, most of these guys call me Bone though. So.
Mind if we go upstairs and check out the rooms?
Yeah, come on up.
Let's go. This is the cave of Josh Juris. Josh, just tell us about your room here.
Yeah, this is my man cave, as I like to call it. All I mostly do here is kind of sleep. There's not much going around. It's kind of dull in here, but I like to try and keep it clean. I know the coaches appreciate a nice clean room, so I'm trying to do my best. And yeah, it's a great little room.
Be honest, was this bed made before we came over?
Of course.
Good answer. All right, let's check out Corbin Knight's room. This is the room of our little princess, Corbin Knight. Corbin, nice little pink chandelier. You got some nice color coordinating paint here, the purple paint behind the bed. Just your thoughts on your setup here.
I mean, I like it. I mean,
it's cozy.
Yeah, it brings some character to the room too. I mean, you got Jabone's room, it's pretty bland in there, and then Ben's room is pretty empty. So the fact that I have a purple room, you know, with a lot of inspirational stuff on the walls, I like it. It kind of wakes up. You wake up in the morning and you're like, all right, let's do this type thing.
So we'll get to this in a minute, but we know how Ben Hanowski, he won the master bedroom, which we'll visit downstairs in a couple of seconds. But how did you and Josh decide who got what room?
Well, Josh came second in the mini golf, so some might say I lost, but I like to think I won when I got this room.
Good answer. We'll get to that momentarily. I guess we'll go downstairs and see what Ben's room's like. We are now in the master bedroom of the house, currently occupied by Ben Hanowski. And Ben, just talk about how you won this beauty.
This is during a big mini putt tournament that we had between the three of us, and you know, you heard Corbin say that he thought he won, but as you guys can see, I definitely won, and it's been good. It's a big room, lots of room for activities in here, so it's been really nice so far.
And you got yourself a nice little personal washroom. Do you mind if we check it out?
I do. I have a nice little bathroom in here.
What the heck is this? Is this a regular occurrence? Yeah, Josh?
Yeah, we like to share the tub and, you know, get good bubble baths in. You know, legs are sore after a hard day with Coach Ward, and, you know, guys come in and get a good soak in. And, you know, Josh is one of them. He really enjoys a good warm tub. So,
all right, that's going to do it for us here. The first installment of Roommates. Obviously, these three are a lot of fun to watch on the ice and also have a pretty good bond off the ice. Great way to end the show. Want to thank those three again for allowing us to come into their home and film that. Well, that'll do it for the first edition of the Heat this week. Hope you enjoyed the show. Next up for the Abbotsford Heat is a weekend series at the AESC against the Montreal Canadiens affiliate, the Hamilton Bulldogs. Friday night's going to be a special night, to say the least. Frank Mahovlich is in the building for another installment of Legends of Hockey Night. We'll be back next week to break it all down and much, much more. Until then, you are up to date with the Abbotsford Heat. See you at the rink.